Hey y'all, what's tea? It's your girl Purple Dog, and I'm collabing with Quality Control Music for JT City Cinderella concert this week in Birmingham. Y'all got y'all tickets because I will be in the building.
Yeah.
All right, Strawberry.
Gennia Grimes.
He picked up his phone before he picked up hers. A 21-year-old woman is bleeding out in the passenger seat of a car. And the man sitting next to her, the father of her baby, the person she trusted more than almost anyone on earth, didn't call 911 first. He records a video. Then he calls his mother. By the time paramedics even knew there was an emergency, he'd already started telling a story. And that story would slowly, piece by piece, fall apart in front of a judge, a jury, and an entire grieving family. This is the story of Gennia Grimes, and I promise you, the further you get into this one, the angrier you're going to get. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, you already know what I'm about to say. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from tonight. Cases like this one deserve to be seen by as many people as possible, because the more people who know her name, the harder it is for anyone to look away. Okay, let's get into it. Before we talk about how she died, I want you to actually know who she was, because too often in these stories, the victim becomes a footnote in someone else's crime, and I refuse to let that happen here. Gennia went by Purple Doll online, and if you saw one of her dance videos, you'd understand why immediately. She had this energy, this presence that made people stop scrolling. She was dancing before she could even drive, and by high school, her videos were already spreading across social media. She even landed a spot on Access Hollywood for her moves. Think about that. A teenager from Southwest Atlanta, and Hollywood outlets were already paying attention to her. She graduated high school in 2021 and made her way to Alabama State University, where she joined the Honeybees, the university's dance line. Anyone who's ever been to an HBCU football game knows exactly what that means. The Honeybees aren't just dancers, they're performers who bring an entire stadium to its feet. But here's what really gets me about Gennia's story. She wasn't just chasing a spotlight, she was building a whole life. She was a junior, majoring in criminal justice, carrying a solid GPA, with her sights set on law school. She wanted to become a lawyer, maybe even an FBI agent one day. And 9 months before her death, she became a mother to a baby boy. So, picture it. 21 years old, a newborn, a full course load, a dance team schedule that had her rehearsing until 3:30 in the morning. And still she was showing up, still chasing every single one of her goals. Her mother, Angela, called her a superstar. And from everything I've read about this young woman, that wasn't a mother exaggerating out of grief. That was just the truth.
Southwest Atlanta family is devastated by the death of their daughter. And now the Montgomery County, Alabama Sheriff's Office has launched an investigation into the death of Alabama State University student Gennia Grimes.
Grimes was a proud member of the Alabama State University Honeybees dance team.
I cried because my baby, she didn't deserve that.
On the 27th of March, 2025, Gennia was in a car heading toward Montgomery, Alabama. She had class that morning at ASU, and the man driving was her boyfriend of about 2 years, a young man named Rogers McLeod Jr. The two had met at Alabama State. He'd played football there before stepping away from the team ahead of the 2024 season. They shared a son together. On paper, they were a young family trying to figure life out. But somewhere along that drive, a gunshot rang out inside that car. And here's where things get disturbing fast. McLeod didn't pull over and call for help right away. Instead, investigators say he pulled into a gas station off Interstate 85 in Pike Road, and before dialing 911, he opened his phone's camera. I want you to really sit with that timeline for a second, because it matters. A gun goes off. His girlfriend, the mother of his child, is injured in the seat beside him. And his very next move isn't to scream for help or apply pressure to a wound. It's to start filming. When authorities arrived, McLeod gave them an explanation. He said Gennia had become overwhelmed and inconsolable, even over financial stress during the drive. He claimed she reached into the center console, grabbed a gun he kept there, and shot herself. Now, if you didn't know anything else about this case, maybe that story could sound plausible on its surface. Tragic, but plausible. Except investigators didn't buy it. And once they started digging, neither should you. Here's the first problem. Gennia was right-handed. The gunshot wound was on the left side of her body. Try that motion yourself right now. Try to imagine shooting yourself on your non-dominant side, at that angle, in a moving car. It doesn't add up. It never added up. Here's the second problem, and this one is the gut punch. Gennia was terrified of guns. Not cautious, not unfamiliar, terrified. That's not my word, that's how her own cousin described her. This wasn't a woman who was casually keeping a firearm in her lap during a stressful conversation. This was someone who, by every account from people who actually knew her, would never have willingly touched that gun in the first place. And then there's the phone. When investigators pulled data from McLeod's phone, what they uncovered wasn't the panicked digital footprint of a grieving boyfriend. It was something far colder. There were Snapchat videos, recorded in the minutes before he ever called 911. One of them, one he never even sent to anyone, just saved, showed Gennia, bleeding in the passenger seat, with no gun visible anywhere in the frame. A second video was different. This one, he sent. Not to police, not even to a friend. He sent it to his own mother. And in it, investigators say, a gun had been placed on Gennia's shoulder, with McLeod's voice on the recording, claiming, in essence, that she had shot herself. Stop and think about the order of operations here. Film the scene without a gun in sight. Then, apparently, stage a second video with a gun placed on her and send that version to family, along with a message insisting she'd done this to herself. That's not the behavior of panic. That's the behavior of someone building an alibi in real time. He also reportedly showed Gennia's body to a family member over FaceTime before help ever arrived, before paramedics, before police. His mother knew what he wanted her to believe before emergency services even had a chance to try to save Gennia's life. Now here's the part of this story that I think deserves just as much attention as the crime itself, because it's the part that so many families recognize too late. Gennia's mother, Angela, later revealed that tension in the relationship wasn't new. In the weeks before Gennia died, there had been an explosive incident. Gennia had apparently found something on McLeod's phone, we don't know exactly what, and confronted him about it. According to her mother, he responded by smashing her iPad, breaking her phone, and attempting to break her television. Let that settle for a moment. This wasn't a couple bickering over dishes in the sink. This was a young man destroying his girlfriend's property in a fit of rage over being confronted. And I have to ask you, because I think it's the most important question in this entire case, how many times have we heard this pattern before? The broken phone, the broken TV, the he has a temper, but he'd never actually hurt her. Narrative that families desperately want to believe, right up until the moment they can't believe it anymore. Angela has since said something that I think every single person watching this video needs to hear. If something feels wrong in your relationship, tell somebody. Don't sit on it. Don't minimize it. Don't wait to see if it gets better on its own, because sometimes, tragically, it doesn't get the chance to.
Son's father, he was the one who said that, she'd done this to herself, and nobody believed him.
8 days after Gennia died, on the 4th of April, 2025, Rogers McLeod Jr. was arrested and charged with capital murder. He was held without bond. At his preliminary hearing, prosecutors laid out the evidence: the mismatched wound location, the Snapchat videos, the delayed call to 911, the FaceTime call before authorities were even notified. Judge Pamela Higgins reviewed the case and determined there was enough evidence to send it forward to a grand jury. McLeod's defense team ultimately withdrew their request for bond. He remains behind bars as the case continues to move through the legal system. Gennia's family has sat through those hearings. They've watched, they've listened, and by every account, they are not backing down. They want the truth on the record, permanently, for Gennia, and for the son she left behind.
An accused of murdering his girlfriend had his first court appearance today.
Rogers McLeod Jr. is charged with capital murder in connection to the death of Gennia Grimes. Today, McLeod was formally read the charges he faces.
He did ask the judge if there was any way for him to get bond. She told him no, because this is a capital murder charge. McLeod will remain behind bars.
Here's what I keep coming back to with this case. Gennia Grimes was not a headline. She was a daughter who called her mom every day, a cousin who felt more like a sister, a dancer who lit up a stadium full of strangers, a student who was one semester away, one single semester from walking across a graduation stage in August 2025 with a criminal justice degree in her hand. She was a mother, a brand new one, still learning the rhythm of late nights and early mornings, still showing up to rehearsal until 3:30 in the morning because she refused to let becoming a mom mean giving up on herself. She deserved to become the lawyer she dreamed of being. She deserved to raise her son and tell him, in her own words, exactly who she was. Instead, that story is being told for her now by her mother, by the courts, and honestly, by all of us. If Gennia's story moved you even a little bit, I need you to do something with that feeling. Share this video. Say her name in the comments. Because somewhere down the line, her son is going to grow up, and he's going to search for his mother's name online. Let's make sure that when he does, he finds a world that remembered her not as a case number, but as a superstar. And if you or someone you know is dealing with warning signs like the ones we talked about tonight, controlling behavior, destroyed belongings, sudden rage, please take it seriously. Reach out to someone you trust, or to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Thank you for watching this one all the way through. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next story, and I'll see you in the next video.